Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thanks, RGC, for inviting me to be here. I feel so honored about that. And frankly speaking, I did not expect to get such a high recognition from the reviewers before I received the report. And it is also, I'm so surprised to be invited here. So during the past 2 weeks, I tried to figure out how did I get the successful result this time. And I hope that my sharing here may be useful to you. So my successful FDS project is about Tin Han, the lyricist of the Chinese anthem, and he was also an important cultural figure in modern China. My project is a study of Tian Han's cultural activities in the 1920s Shanghai. The field of my project belongs to literature and China studies. I've got 5 marks in the panel rating. I have received comments from 4 reviewers, and here are their ratings on the first 3 questions, namely objectives, research design and methodology, and feasibility. I've got all excellent except one very good. For this question, the reviewer pointed out that I can still add in some scholars' outputs in the literature review. First of all, for those who are the first time to submit the FDS proposal, you may want to know that there are 8 questions in the proposal assessment form for the reviewers to fill in. The first 3 questions are directly affecting your score, which is like the table I have just shown to you. The reviewers will rate you as excellent, very good, good, fair, and poor on the 3 questions, namely the objective, research design and methodology, as well as feasibility. And the reviewers will also comment on these 3 aspects. For the next 5 questions, the reviewers just need to give comments but no need to give a grade. I think that these 5 questions can be regarded as the sub-questions of the first 3 questions. For example, Q4, what do you think is the most original or innovative aspect of the proposed research? Question 5, whether the proposal can develop the research capability of the investigators. And question 6, research output can all be regarded as the sub-questions of question 1, objectives, and question 2, research design and methodology. And then question 7 is closely aligned to feasibility. If the reviewers give you high marks in question 1 to 3, then they are very possible to write good comments in the following 5 questions. Otherwise, I think it is quite possible that they will give harsh comment on you in order to rationalize their grades. So in the following slides, I will mainly focus on the first 3 questions. First, as failure is the mother of success, let me share with you my failure experience. In fact, it is the second time for me to submit the FDS. In 2018, I tried to submit my first FDS proposal, but I did not know much about the mechanism behind at that time, such as what should I write in the proposal, what do the reviewers expect, etc. And of course, I did not get good results. Now I can compare the 2 application submission experiences to you, and I would like to break 3 myths here referring to my personal experience. The first myth of submitting FDS was that Hong Kong-related topic will be at an advantage. In fact, my first submitted topic is about Hong Kong literature. Although it is also one of my research interests, I chose this topic because of the myth. But from the reviewers' comments, I feel that they are not really quite concerned about whether the topic is Hong Kong related. As you can see, the 8 questions in the proposal assessment form that I have just shown to you, none of the questions had mentioned the word Hong Kong. Just like this time, my topic is about 1920 Shanghai, which has no relations with Hong Kong at all. I think it is very reasonable. For example, if the scholar is doing research on classical Chinese literature, it is impossible to ask him or her to write a proposal with any relations to Hong Kong at all. But on the other hand, I do not think that Hong Kong related is totally wrong, but it is not talking about the topic. It is talking about the contributions and impacts. I will further elaborate on this point in the next slide. The second myth of submitting FDS is the originality or innovativeness of the proposal. This looks similar to question 4, but from my daily experience, I found that although originality or innovativeness is important, it is not the prior concern of the reviewers, as they think that whether the idea can succeed or not depends on your track record. If your track record does not sound strong enough to reviewers, a newly developed idea may suffer from heavy criticism, as the reviewers may think that it is an immature idea and they expect further evidential support. As the reviewers' comment will affect whether the government resources will be granted to you, I understand that they need to be somehow conservative and need such evidence to write in the proposal assessment form. Therefore, I realized that track record is the crucial factor to affect whether the submission will be successful or not. The third myth of submitting FDS is that resubmission will be an advantage. I think it depends case by case. You may need to feel whether the reviewers would like you to improve or they do not like your idea at all. In my case, I feel that the reviewers did not like my first proposal very much, as it is quite possible that I will encounter the same reviewers again and they may give similar comments if I resubmit my proposal. So I've decided to write a new proposal at that time. But I think it doesn't mean that you need to give up your original proposal. For me, I think I will try to strengthen my track record in the field of Hong Kong literature in the coming years so that it may give more confidence to the reviewers when I resubmit my proposal in the future. So let's come back to my successful experience this time. How can we get a higher grade in the 3 crucial questions? Somehow I think that Hong Kong related is important, but it is talking about the objective and object and impact. I think you need to write very clearly on how the research project can benefit Hong Kong. I think you may mention how the project can further develop your research capability, which is also related to question 5. Also, you may also write about how the project can contribute new knowledge and how the project can transfer the research experiences into teaching and learning, etc. Moreover, don't just think of the objectives locally. I think that it is also a good idea to mention how can the research project dialogue with international academia as the reviewers are from overseas. For example, one of the reviewers points out that the strength of my proposal is that it is well informed of current research and theoretical discussions internationally. So I think it is a good idea to write more on how does international academia address the issue and also how does it inspire you. Secondly, it is about research design and methodology. I think you need to convince the reviewers why it is you but not the other person to do this research topic, as it is quite possible that the reviewers do not know about you. You need to demonstrate your track record to prove that you are an expert in the field. In this case, I think if you do a topic related to your PhD dissertation, will be an advantage, and as it can give guarantee on the quality of the project. You may need to explain what you were doing in the past and how they are related to your proposed project. Say it is an extension of your previous studies. And I feel that the track record is the most important concern for the reviewers to consider whether to approve your application. In my case, the reviewers always use my track record as an explanation of their positive comments. For example, in commenting on the objective of my proposal, that is question 5, one of the reviewers just wrote like this: given the background of the PI, this proposed research will certainly further develop her research capability and contribute to her academic and professional development so that she can transfer her research experience and new knowledge into teaching and learning. And also in commenting the feasibility of the proposal, that is question 7, one of the reviewers writes like this: the feasibility of the research within the time scale of the proposal is very good, considering the applicant's previous publication record. All this makes the completion of her monograph very possible. So I feel that track record is the top concern of the reviewers, as it can convince them the completion of the proposal with quality outputs are very possible. Thirdly, it is about feasibility. In my case, I think that the proposal is as detailed and as specific as possible. I used up every page and even every single line to illustrate the proposal thoroughly. You need to write down everything you know about the topic. One of the purposes is to demonstrate that you have full knowledge of the topic. Another purpose is to prevent the reviewers from challenging you missing out some of the points of literature review. Also, I think it is a good idea if you can demonstrate some of the outputs from the pilot study. For example, statistics, newly found materials, and even preliminary conclusions as much as possible. Moreover, I have written a very detailed plan of the dissemination of research outputs, such as the full idea of what will be written in the journal paper. If you can deliver your ideas as detailed as possible, the reviewers will be more confident that you can complete the project successfully. In fact, I feel that the duration and budget is not the first concern of the reviewers. What matters more to the reviewers is the value and quality of the research. If they recognize the importance of your research, they are very likely to give positive comments on the feasibility. For example, one of the reviewers' comment on question 7 is like this. Given the applicant's previous studies on Tianhan, the duration and budget are reasonable. And another reviewer's comment is like this. The applicant is already familiar with the topic, especially the activities and output of the main figure Tianhan, and should have no difficulties meeting the time scale as planned. So let me give a brief conclusion on my presentation about, first, try to write the proposal as it can be implemented now and here already. Second, try your best to demonstrate that how passionate and well-prepared you are for the proposal, and a detailed plan can convince the reviewers that the research outputs are guaranteed. Third, try to show that you have all the criteria to complete the project. What you are lacking is just time and money to do the research, and that's why you are submitting the application. Finally, somehow whether the application is successful depends on luck, but good preparation can definitely increase the opportunity of success. May I wish you all the best in the coming round FDS application. Thank you very much.